Hi, I'm Huthmaker from Huthmaker Violins, and I want to tell you a story. So there's this famous story about two violinists in a major symphony that were stand partners, and they got in a major disagreement about page turning. One person said, "You're doing it wrong," and the other person said, "I'm not doing it wrong." And they got to a concert, and they got to a page turn, and the person that was supposed to turn the page refused and just sat back. The person that was supposed to keep played as long as she could by memory, and then she just sat back. And the two of them sat there for the rest of the piece. So this can actually show you why it's really important that we have protocol and we have etiquette for how we are in a section, in an orchestra. So when you go to an orchestra, you will probably notice that in the string section, we sit 2 by 2. Unless you're a bass player and you have your own music stand, we're in the back, but we have 2 of us sitting next to each other and we share a stand. And each person actually has a role that's very important that they play. So we call the person that, when you're facing the conductor, the person on the left, we call them the outside of the stand. And the person on the right is the inside of the stand. And basically this is how it breaks down. The outside person is supposed to just keep playing regardless. If you go see a concert, you should never see that person stop playing. The inside person, well, we take care of the admin business. And for the sake of this video, I'm actually sitting in the inside seat so you can see what it looks like. One thing to remember, in major symphonies, these chairs don't mean anything in terms of ability or if someone's better than the other. Last chair, first chair, none of that matters. We're all players, we're all professionals. But we do have this job to do. So one of the first things that the inside player is always in charge of is marking changes in the music. So you're playing along and the conductor's conducting and he shouts out during rehearsal, "Cellos, that was too loud." Well, then the inside player immediately reaches over, grabs her pencil, and marks in the music that you need to be quieter. The outside player keeps on going. So if there is a question in the section, let's pretend someone in the back stand wants to know, oh, is the conductor actually going to slow down there? They don't raise their hand and wave it wildly. They actually tap the shoulder of the person in front of them and ask them. They pass it all the way up, and then the principal cellist, the first chair, or violist or violinist, they are the ones that address the conductor. They're the only people that should ever address the conductor. The cool thing about this kind of etiquette is, if you go anywhere in the world and you follow these rules, you're going to fit right in. These are international rules. I've had the opportunity to either sit in or watch rehearsals in Cuba, Ecuador, Haiti. They all do these exact same things. Turning pages is the other job for the inside person, and it's kind of an art in itself, but the inside person is the one that does stop playing, reach over, turn the page. That outside person keeps on going. One thing to note that's kind of interesting, pretend that you have different approaches to the music and you have different fingerings. Well, if you have different fingerings than the outside player, they need to write their fingerings on the top of the music, and the inside player, you write yours on the bottom. So this kind of stand partner, we call ourselves stand partners. This relationship is really important. You can actually, if you're in a major symphony, you could spend decades sitting with the same person. And you're making music together, you're working closely together day after day after year after year. So respect is important, following the etiquette of being in a section is really important so that you continue making music and don't let little things like page turns get in the way. One final thing I want to tell you that's kind of cool, what do we do in a section if we want to applaud something that someone else in the orchestra did? Well, normally we shuffle our feet. If you ever look up and see the orchestra shuffling their feet, that means they're applauding something that just happened. In my case, usually it's a beautiful oboe solo or a really nice viola line. Sometimes you will see string musicians reach up and they kind of wave their bow in the air like this at their stand. Traditionally, people would tap on the stand, string players, to applaud. We don't do that anymore. These bows are very expensive and very delicate. So you'll see instead we pay honor to that tradition, but we do it in the air. And that's kind of like at a concert when we want the audience to know that we're also applauding something. I hope you learned something from this, and I hope the next time you watch a symphony concert, you kind of notice some of these things taking place, because now you're kind of part of the inner circle. You understand our secret language. And if you're playing in an orchestra, put these to good use so that we all show respect for each other. if you have any questions about this, or if I left something out, then give me a holler down below. Put a question in the comments. I do live for those thumbs up, so give me a thumbs up, please. And if you know people that play in orchestras or go to concerts, share this video with them. And let's spread the idea of really great behavior in a section far and wide. I am Anna Huthmaker from Huthmaker Violins. Thank you for listening.